Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Problem Gambler's Corner. This program is produced by the Alabama Council on Compulsive Gambling, and this is where problem gamblers come over to the corner and to talk about recovery, to talk about the things about gambling addiction that affects each one of us. You know, gambling addiction can happen to anyone, anytime, anywhere. So sit back and relax as we have an opportunity now to talk about gambling addiction and recovery. Wow. So over a 5-year period, your gambling escalated to this $6 million debt.
Right.
Did you ever say to yourself, I'm the new $6 million man?
Never said that.
You never said that. Okay. All right. Well, maybe that wasn't fair of me. I don't know. But Ricky, we say that when gamblers hit rock bottom, that there is a 2 to 3 times higher risk of suicide amongst gambling addicts, because once you hit your rock bottom, and it sounds to me like the day that you just described, that was your rock bottom.
Right.
So what did you do that day?
Well, when I left the restaurant, I called a taxi and had them drive me 30 miles to my house. And
okay.
I could not tell my wife that day, so I just...
Okay. Did your wife see you get out of the taxi?
No.
Okay.
I had them stop up the road.
Stop up the road.
Walked home.
Walked home.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I went to bed that night and, of course, laid awake all night long.
All night, yeah.
And the next morning I got up and got up early and left. Didn't go to the car, but she thought I did.
Sure.
And like I had gone to work. But
right.
what I had done is I had a loaded pistol, and I took it and went to an area of my property, and from 7 o'clock till 3 laid there with it, and contemplated what I should do and what would be best for my family.
Gotcha.
If they would be better without this. So.
Without this, without having the pain of knowing what had happened.
Right.
Okay. And you say your dog was down there with you.
I had a dog named Dixie that laid there with me all day long. And
didn't leave your side.
No.
Yeah.
So, and in fact, that is, and I look at it as one of the tools that God used, was the dog. And when at about 3 o'clock that afternoon, my wife came to the door, and I was about a quarter of a mile away, but you could hear her voice, and it was calling for Dixie to come home. And when she called, the dog got up and left. And when the dog got up and left, I said to myself, I've got to get up, got to go home and make this right and tell her what I've done.
Absolutely.
And let's try to get it right and see what happens.
And what did happen? Without getting personal, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm not trying to get real personal here. Let me back up. The reality was, your wife and you were dealing with it. Your kids are dealing with it.
Right.
You've had to go to court.
Right.
You've had to share with the judge all that was involved with the day trading. Okay. And understand that the judge wasn't 100% sold on stock day trading as gambling, but we know it's gambling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In my case, it was.
Okay. And what was your sentence?
5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
Okay. Since that day that you walked into the house and told your wife what had been going on, how has your life been different since you've stopped gambling?
Well, that part is better. I'm not lying, I'm not hiding anything, and I'm not gambling.
Okay.
But we're also dealing with the fact of what we're going through. I'm going to go to prison.
Yeah.
The embarrassment of it all, the shame of it all, and you know, the money is not there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people think I have this money and I don't.
Sure,
Because
sure.
it was lost.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
My wife and I have gotten a divorce,
Mm-hmm.
but hopefully in years to come we'll try to work it out.
Sure.
The house is up for a short sale, and it's just been one thing after another.
Mm-hmm.
After working 33 and a half years, we don't know if and when I'll get my pension.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
we're dealing with all of this. And it's just to know what I've done to my family
Mm-hmm.
and the people that I love, and you know,
Yeah.
misleading them with this. But you don't, at no point do you think about it, but you just don't stop.
No, you don't. You don't. Again, that's why it's an addiction. And the addiction always has one goal, and that is to destroy the host.
Yeah.
There might be some people watching this video right now, they're going through the exact same thing. Different circumstances,
Yeah.
but it's destroying their lives.
And I went to the doctor, and while I was in a doctor's office in Montgomery, my wife picked up a magazine, and in the magazine it had Gamblers Anonymous,
Okay,
a meeting in Wetumpka.
okay, okay.
So I took that and attended a meeting of Gamblers Anonymous. This was September 22nd of 2012.
Okay,
And,
so that's your clean date.
yes, sir.
Great,
That's it.
great. So aside from all of the destruction from the gambling, how has your life been now that you're in a recovery program and you're not gambling?
Well, to me, it's somewhat of a relief
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not gambling. Like I say, I'm not lying. I'm not stealing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long road to get back to where I need to be.
Absolutely. Recovery is always a long road.
But
Yeah.
the Gamblers Anonymous has been a wonderful program for me.
Okay.
I met people, they told their story, and I told mine.
Similar to what you're doing right here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the amazing thing to me is, you know, you weren't judged by anybody.
No.
Because they'd all been there.
They've all been there. I've been there. You've been there. Some of you watching have been there. So you no longer are enslaved
Right.
to that addiction. And so even though you don't have a job, and even though you've got these other circumstances, you are probably freer now than you've ever been in your life.
That's exactly right.
I don't want to get too much into the personal things between you and your family. That's your business and their business. But I just want to ask one question. When you shared with your wife that you'd been gambling all throughout, you know, for so many years, how did she react to that as far as saying, my gosh, I never realized, I never knew?
She felt guilty and blamed herself that she didn't pick up on it.
Okay,
And I tried to explain to her that no matter what she did, I could have hidden it.
exactly,
And I had hidden post office boxes.
exactly. Getting the mail forwarded,
Yes.
getting those calls forwarded.
And I tried to explain to her that
Yeah.
it was not her fault.
That's right.
It's totally me, and
Yeah.
everything was manipulated.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep it, like you say, under the radar.
Under the radar. When our house in California was foreclosed, my father asked my wife, how is it that my son can skip 13 mortgage payments and you didn't know anything about it? And she said, I trusted him.
Right,
I
exactly.
trusted him. Well, let me say something to you, Ricky, and let me say something to our viewers that are watching the program, and that is, you know, there's no shame in being a gambling addict. The only shame is not asking for help. And so by you asking for help, Ricky, it goes without saying that hopefully your story, and that's the whole reason that you're here with us on the show today, is that your story is going to hopefully help somebody else say, I don't need to get to that point, I need to get help.
That's right. And if you're ever gambling and you lose money,
Right.
the only thing you can think about is getting back over there the next day to get it back.
To get it back.
You have a problem, and you probably need to get help to try to stop it before it gets to.
We just keep chasing it.
Yeah.
So folks, if you're having to lie to cover up where you are when you're gambling, or if you're betting more money than you could afford to gamble, you might have a problem. And so again, the producers of this program, the Alabama Council on Compulsive Gambling, they can put you in contact with support group meetings, with therapists that are trained gambling counselors that can help you get into recovery. Because, Ricky, of all the things on this earth to gamble with, don't gamble with your recovery. Get help. It's out there. Call that number, 334-277-5100. It's 100% confidential. Ricky, I thank you that you have risked your anonymity and your confidentiality by coming on here today and sharing with us. We wish you the very best, young man.
Thank you.
Thanks again for joining us at the Problem Gambler's Corner. And again, remember that help is available. All you have to do is ask.